I grew up in a small town outside of Concord, North Carolina. My uncle had a small farm raising beef cows and doing hay and stuff on the side. And it's just the atmosphere I grew up in. I was an FFA in high school, and a lot of my family farmed, and just a lot of people I knew and grew up and went to church with farmed. And it's just where I was growing up in and what I wanted to do. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I knew I wanted to farm. The majority of farmers, not only in North Carolina but around the U.S., are family farm, and it's families working hard to make a living, and we care about the food that people need. Every time people hear on the news about outbreaks and stuff, rarely is it traced back to a farmer. I mean, we care for our animals, and we care about the quality of meat and milk and products you're buying and the food you eat, and that's what I wish, is how much hard work and how much we care about the consumer.
Farmers are not corporations, they're families. They're made up of children and grandchildren and grandparents, and they've been on the farm for generations. The fact that farmers care about the environment because they live on the farm, they don't want to pollute the farm because it's been in the family for generations. The fact that farmers care for their animals, an animal doesn't perform well if it's not being taken care of, and because of that, they look after the animals, and they're probably some of the first animal lovers in the world because they love working with animals and they care about those animals.
I'm pretty particular because I try to get eat a lot of vegetables. And I try to go organic a lot of times. I understand that sometimes it's not always packaged. It says one thing on the packaging and then it's not always the same.
For me, most important is nutrition. I want to make my family get the nutrition balanced. That's the most important thing for me. Second, I believe is the safety. I provide my family with safe food.
There's sort of two processes. One is depending on how wealthy I'm feeling at the moment. I prefer to eat organic and locally sourced foods, but honestly the convenience factor sometimes overtakes that. And both in terms of cooking, microwaving is faster than cooking, and in terms of cost.
I usually, I start with the meats and then I think of what can complement them. It's usually how I start.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, when we go grocery shopping, that's where we start. Also location, if it's the closest to us for convenience, but what are we going to make, and then from there what's going around it.
I almost have more sort of academic questions in terms of how farming has changed over time. I am big on the environmental issues and climate change and things like that. So in terms of, the water table and soil erosion and things like that, sort of what both is being done, but also, at the end of the day, it's a business. You have to feed your family. So what are the choices and consequences and trade-offs you make for those decisions?
If it's organic and where it comes from, and if it has any preservatives in it, that's something I look forward to.
I'm not too picky on on things I cook.
I'm the picky one that out of the whole household that lives there. I'm the one that wants to if it's grass-fed or my questions are things like consider GMOs, and also I've had to do research about where it's coming from because there's some places where I've heard where they'll sell local, and I'm like, I should try them sometimes. Have I gone there yet? No, but I think about it.
I may ask, what kind of problem or difficulty for farmers now and for future and for next generation?